Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to ask for that. Thank you very much. All right. So welcome to the presentation skills revision class, for the professional exam for CIPM. What we are going to do majorly in this class is more of an interactive session. I want to know how far you have gone with your revisions. Where are your pain points? Where do you need clarification? What can we do better? That's what this is all about. We are going to trace the triangle of growth. What can I do more? What can I do less? And what can I do differently? That's what we'll do here. So that's what we're, and don't forget, this is, on behest of Big and Hairy Consultancy Services. Thank you also, for at least being part of this class and also giving yourself even that discipline of revision. This is very important. I hope that other people registered will also join us, but we won't delay this class anymore. The little bit about me is here. I'm a fellow of about 2-3 institutes, globally. I have, vast experience, at least in what we want to do today, which is presentation skill. I have about 4 years of professional experience, working experience. Almost 30 of that is in HR. But I've been a public speaker. I've been, a journalist, and I've been also, a peer analyst also. So these are some of the things I do, and so I will leverage on my experiences also to try to drive home, even with practical examples, some of the things we'll learn today. All right. So the first thing I want, to discuss is presentation. We've heard about presentation. Don't forget, this is not a lecture itself. It's more of, a touch point on what you've read. You've read before. You've done a self-paced, study. So I want to know how far you've learned. But I will just do a little recap of what presentation is. And presentation skill is what it's all about. Then we will engage in question and answer. So please pay rapt attention. The first thing I want you to understand is what presentation is. What makes it differentiated from all kinds of other communication? The first thing you must understand in presentation is that it is a structured way of passing across message, information, idea, or viewpoint. Your intent is to achieve a desired result. So critical in terms of presentation is that you must know that it is structured and it is with the hope of achieving a result at the end. So it is objective focused. It's not just a ramble gisting. It's not just gossiping. Okay, and you may be teaching without even presenting. If you don't structure it. But generally, teaching should be presentation if it's structured. So this is the critical thing. Don't forget, the two parts of it is that it is structured and it is result oriented. All right. There are several other, definitions and all that. People say it's a mode of, of delivery, lecture, speech and all that. A mode of also presenting a proposal, an invention, an innovation. So some people just make it loose that is a mode of communication. But I've told you this communication must be structured and must be result oriented. Please don't forget those two things. That is my own take out based on experience and based on my study of what presentation is. These others are just textbooks definition, which doesn't really tell you exactly what presentation is. Again, it's a mode of communication. However, it is distinguished by being structured and result oriented. It has a clear objective in mind. That is when it's a presentation. Some other people said, you can adapt this mode of presentation, mode of communication to various speaking situations. For instance, whether you're in a worship place, addressing a congregation, in the office, in the workplace and all that. So, all of this just centers on the fact that it is critical for communication. But you may be communicating again, as I said, without presenting. What makes it presentation is what? Please put it on the chat box. What makes communication presentation? Put those two things I mentioned. There are two critical things that makes presentation, not just any other kind of communication. You can put it on the chat box and or you can open your mic if you want to speak to me. Because this will be interactive. Don't forget, it should connect with you and you should connect with me. Okay, good. Good. Structured, Maria Ben. I love this. Structured, must be structured. One more. If it's structured and it doesn't have this second thing, it is not still a presentation. Okay, and result-oriented. Thank you, Jureen. I love this. It has a clear objective. From the onset, there must be clarity of what I want to achieve if what I'm doing is to be seen as presentation. This is very good. I love this. So let's go on. You've heard about what we call the 4 P's of presentation, isn't it? Based on your study and based on what you've done. But please do me the benefit of sharing with what you've taken out. What are the 4 P's of presentation? This is what makes even the structure of presentation to be presentation. So the structure of presentation has 4 aspects. They are called 4 P's. Okay, let me see. Okay, thank you, Maria Ben. You still answered the last question. So let's go on. Tell me the 4 P's of presentation. This forms the structure, the building block for our presentation. We call them the 4 P's. All right, let's see. Prepare, plan, practice, and perform. Amazing. I love that. Thank you very much, Maria. Okay, so but you didn't put it in the order, but yet I think you got it. Okay, the right order, if you want to be sequential, don't forget I said presentation is always structured, so it must be sequential. You cannot perform before planning. You cannot prepare before planning. You cannot practice before planning. The 4 P's of presentation are planning, preparation, practicing, and performing. And I will tell you what these 4 aspects are all about. Planning, preparation, practicing, and performing. Let us look in detail at what these 4 P's are about. I will just tell you what planning is all about. I'll tell you what preparation is all about. I'll tell you what practice is all about. And I will tell you what performance is all about. And you will also, to ensure that you recall what I have taught you, you also note it down so that when I ask you what is planning all about, you can tell me. So let's look at planning very quickly. There are 3 critical things that the planning stage in presentation is all about. Number 1, it's about clarifying purpose. Number 2, it's about clarifying your audience. Number 3, it's about clarifying your venue. Don't forget you are planning. And I told you that presentation is all about objective focus. So what am I all about? What is the purpose? The purpose is about the why and the what. Why am I doing this presentation? Is to prepare my students for the coming CIPM professional exams. So what is this presentation about? It's about presentation skill. So I should research on presentation skill. So purpose is the first thing. The second thing is the audience. Who are my audience? So that I will know the kind of language, I will know the kind of supporting system, I will know everything to put together to be able to address your need. The audience, who are they? What is their demographic? What is their psychography? What is their media habit? What will be the best way to present to them? Where do they live? Now you are living virtually, far-flung apart. I don't know whether some people are living in Kaduna, in Kano, or even some people are living outside Nigeria. We are far-flung because of the virtual space. So I should therefore be able, based on understand my audience, where they are and who they are, be able to know the best way of presenting to them, what medium, what channel will reach them effectively. So the first thing, I call this PAV, under planning. The acronym that can help you to remember what planning is all about is PAV, PAV, purpose, audience, and venue. Please don't forget that. I've told you presentation skill has 4 aspects. You plan, you prepare, okay, you practice, and you perform. Under planning, we have 3 major focus: clarify purpose, clarify audience, and clarify the venue. So once you clarify the purpose, which is why and what, you go on to clarify the audience, which is who and where. Then, based on that, you are certain venue issues. The venue can be virtual, the venue can be physical. If it's physical, you begin to ask questions. How large is it? How many are the population? Will they fit into that space? What about the lighting? Where are the sockets? Where should I put my projector? How should I arrange the chairs? How should I arrange the table? Will I make it U form? Will I make it a theater form? No, you begin to ask questions about the venue. Are there noise that can interfere with our presentation and distract the audience? Is it a very quiet place? You begin to ask questions about the venue. These are things you do in the planning stage, so as to know what to bring, what not to bring. Will there be electricity uninterrupted, or should I have a backup generator or UPS? Venue issues, they are critical. They are very, very important. So don't forget, the planning stage is all about PAV. Clarify P, purpose. Clarify A, audience. And clarify V, the venue. This is very important. So please note this down. Particularly that acronym, it will help you to remember. Once I said, what is planning about? Once you remember PAV, PAV, what is P, purpose, A, audience, V, venue. You can therefore stretch and elaborate on that. Are we together? Is that okay? Maria? You bring?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. So let's go on to the next stage after planning is what? Jubrin, what's the next stage after planning? Don't forget I said presentation skill is structured. So it must be from the foundation. The foundation is planning. What's the next stage? What's the next P after planning? Is to prepare. Okay, is to prepare. Preparation. So after you plan, you prepare. So what does it mean to prepare? What aspects of a presentation is involved in preparation? Let us look at that. Preparation has 2 major aspects. It is called the R&D, research and design of a presentation. You research by exploring both primary or secondary data. So once I've ascertained in my planning, my PAV, the P representing who? Yes, speak to me. The PAV in planning represents what? Maria. Hello, are you in class?
Yes.
Good. I want to connect planning to preparation. So I said under planning, I said it involves the acronym PAV. What does P represent?
Purpose.
Purpose, good. What does A represent?
Audience.
Audience, good. And what does V represent?
Venue.
Good. So once you have ascertained particularly your purpose, your audience, and the venue, you begin to do research. The research might be primary. That is, you don't have any source before about that information. So you do research. It can be both qualitative or quantitative research, or a mixture. The quantitative is much more data-driven. The qualitative is much more interview or case study driven. So the research is the first aspect of the preparation stage. You begin to gather data. You gather data through primary or secondary sources. Secondary sources are data or information that already exists. Are they in the textbook? Are they information that you can Google up? You can search. There are various online libraries. You gather data. Don't forget, what makes presentation that it is strategic data you will gather. That is data that is related to your purpose, which you have ascertained under the planning stage. Not all data are useful for you in presentation skills. So you narrow down the appropriate data, the right data, by validating and verifying again, what is my purpose? Who are my audience? And where do I want to speak to them? There might be some data that may not be very good when used virtually. Because, for instance, it might be that you want them to practicalize and you got some data that has to do with practice, to handle those equipment, to do, you need them to be physically present. It's like apprenticeship. So such a data therefore might be better used if they're in class, touching those machines and feeling it. So the purpose, the audience, and the venue will guide you in your research. The next aspect of the preparation stage after research is the design. How do I put together the data that I have found appropriate, that I've gathered from primary and secondary sources? How do I begin to put them down? How do I begin to tease out what is the theme, the recurring theme from the data? What are the key concepts? What models or framework do I want to use to present this data? So I'm going to design. Is it the 5W and H? Is it that model? Is it the model we call the meal plan? What model do I want to use to present? In my design, I will also begin to think about illustrations, videos, pictures, icebreakers that I can use. Where should I put the break time? Where should I put the question and answer? How can I make this as interactive as possible? Those are the things I do in the design. In the design, also, I begin to consider things like, what is the length of time I need to present so as to constrain to time box myself in terms of the data to present. So it is in the design. So as I begin to time box myself, I begin to know that there are some unwieldy data that are not really necessary. There are some unwieldy pictures and videos that does not really speak to my planning stage of purpose, of the audience, and of the venue. So don't forget, the preparation stage have two critical things. One, your research. Two, your design. So the preparation stage is all about R&D, not R&D as in research and development. This is research and design. Research and design. So you research, gather data through primary and secondary sources, and you design by identifying recurring themes, recurring concepts, deciding on what model or framework I will use to present my data, what illustrations will help me to be much more effective, what will be the appropriate pictures, the appropriate video, the appropriate icebreakers. I must begin to decide on this. Okay, so let's move on. The first stage of presentation skill is planning. The second stage of the 4P is preparation. The third stage is called the practice. Practice. Indeed, no matter how good your planning is, no matter how good your preparation is, what turns it into usable, effective
presentation is how well you master your content. And mastering of the content comes from practicing. There is one critical thing we are looking at when you are practicing is to receive feedback. So just as we said, there are three basic things we look out for in planning, which is PAV. We are looking at the purpose, we are looking at the audience, we're looking at even the venue. Under preparation, we said we look at two critical things. We're looking at the R&D, the research and the design. But under practice, one critical thing you want to take out is what we call feedback. Feedback is what will help you to master the art of preparation very well. So what are the things you want to gain out of feedback? You want to assess the quality of delivery. You want to assess how well you are managing time. You want to be able to assess also your level of self-confidence in presenting and how well you've mastered the subject matter. You also want to be able to receive an evaluation of how you are managing the stage management. You also want to receive feedback on the appropriateness of the visual aids and illustrations you've used. And also whether you are connecting well with the audience or you've aligned the content very well with your objectives. So these are some of the things that you gain from feedback: quality of delivery, time management, assessment of confidence, mastery of the subject matter, stage management, appropriate use of your presentation skills and illustrations, as well as audience connections and alignment of content with objectives. So don't forget, practice is all about feedback. And as you practice, how do you get this feedback? You can practice and look at your posture in the mirror, presenting to yourself. You can practice before an audience of your family who will give you a feedback before the D-Day of the main presentation, before the audience that are not so common to you. You can practice by recording, with a recording media and play back to see whether you are delivering well. Is my pace, is my enunciation, is the projection of my voice, is my pronunciation very clear? You can get that from recordings of tapes and all that. And sometimes you can also record video. There are video recording using your phone today. You can also be able to evaluate my hand gestures, my body language, accentuating, connecting well with what I'm delivering. What of my facial expression? Am I smiling? Am I overdoing it? Am I underdoing it? So you can do self-feedback by self-recording or practicing before the mirror. And you can, receive feedback from those who are close to you, colleagues in office, professional colleagues, family members. Just tell them, please spare me 15 minutes. I just want to quickly knock this off you. Give me an objective feedback. That's what we'll do here. So feedback is all about practicing. Practicing is all about feedback. Am I clear? Is that okay?
Very okay from my
Great,
end.
great. Thank you. All right. So I want you to tell me, Jubrin, tell me 4 things you look out for in feedback. When you practice, we say practice is all about getting feedback. So what 4 things you look at in feedback? Yes, quickly.
Yeah, you talked about quality of delivery.
Good.
Talk about time management.
Very good.
Stage management, as well as confidence assessments.
Wow, I love that. That's a beautiful one. Beautiful one. Okay, Maria, can you tell me also some other things apart from what Jibri have said, that you look out for when you are seeking feedback?
Okay. Something like you also look out for. Okay, he has mentioned confidence.
Yes,
Then
yes.
something like audience connection.
Audience connection. Good.
Then okay, I think that's about it. You have said every other thing.
Okay, but I said some
Okay,
things I didn't put on.
another one is the use of aids and illustration.
Thank you. Use of aids and illustration. Is it connecting, with the purpose, with the objective of your presentation? That's very good. And I did say that even
Yes.
when you also begin to look at, aspect of your speech delivery, your pace. Am I too fast, too slow? You are looking at how I'm pronouncing. Is the pronunciation clear and right, or am I speaking in a slurring manner? I said you should also look at the projection of your voice. Am I loud enough? If I'm speaking to an audience of 100 people, am I loud enough, or there will be a loudspeaker? So you look at all of those. What of my pitch? Am I using my voice in a way that is boring, or I'm using it in a way that is connecting because the pitch I use appropriately? What of my emphasis? Am I emphasizing the right things? So all of these things, I didn't put that here, but I made mention of them in passing. So I want you to understand that the voice modulation, how you use your voice, voice control is also very important. There might be, for instance, a question in the objective that says, what is the main instrument of a presenter? How will you answer that, Jubri? What is the main instrument that a presenter uses? The major instrument.
I think I'll go for voice modulation.
Thank you. It's your voice. It's not even the, do you know that you can present without a PowerPoint, without a laptop? You can present without flip chart. Those are aids. The major thing that is your major instrument for presentation is your voice. And that is why, please, before you go present, don't do anything that will impair your voice. You must not lose your voice on the day of presentation, no, please. All right. So, how you modulate the voice, how you go to your presentation by using, a regular pace. Don't be. What makes people to lose their pace sometimes is because they are afraid. And we look at some of these things. So let us go to the next thing. I thank you for what you've done. You've connected well. Let's look at the objectives of presentation. Let's establish objective of presentation. How do I establish the objective? And I'll go through that quickly in this series. In establishing objective of presentation, there is an academic principle called a psychological principle, propounded by Cruz, 2016. And in reading through your professional study material, you will not see this acronym. Reading through it, I put it into an acronym that can make it very easy for you to remember. Okay, sorry. Please, maybe for the time being, just mute your mic for the time being so that it won't affect the recording, please. Thank you. So, the academic principle behind presentation was propounded by Cruz, 2016. It's called the psychological principle. Then I formed an acronym called CEAM, CEAM, to make it easy for you to remember. It says C represents credibility. Whatever information you want to pass across, if it's seen not as credible, believability will not be easy. And so there will not be a connection between you and the audience. And so your presentation will not be effective. So credibility. And how do you achieve credibility? Do your research very well. The second thing he said is that you must have excellent content. Clean your content very well. Let it be content that are strategically aligned to your objective, to your purpose, that connects well with the demography of your audience. So E is for excellent content. And A, he said, you might have a lot of content, but avoid overload. A, avoid overload. Don't forget that you have time box yourself based on the time you have to deliver. For instance, in this presentation, you are time boxed to 1 hour. So I am looking at my clock now. When should I stop? When should I engage you in questions? And you also tell me areas you want to ask questions. At least I know that 10 minutes to the end of this 1 hour, I must engage that. So I'm looking at my watch. So C, credibility. E, excellent content. A, avoid overload. M, maximize learning channels. Why? Your audience have different learning channels. Some are visual learners. Some are auditory learners. Why? Some are kinesthetic learners. It is said that about 53% of people on the average are audio learners. About 51% are visual learners, while the rest percentage, okay, might be kinesthetic learners. But we find that, look, because different people in different situations and scenario may be a visual, audio, or kinesthetic learner. So do a combination of these in your design stage. Put a little of visual, a little bit of audio as we are hearing. You see, the visual is the PowerPoint I'm using, okay, and all that. The audio is this. Then put a little bit of kinesthetic. What I'm doing now, because kinesthetic is all about, practical, doing with your hands. But because I cannot do that, that's why I'm engaging you to so to say, physically be engaged by question and answer is a form of my kinesthetic learning, connecting with you, so that I can be sure that you are doing something. You are writing down notes or points, and you can, give me a feedback. So that helps you to be able to cut across all kinds of learners and learning channel within a demography. So CEAM is a psychological principle taught by Cruz, 2016. C is credibility. E, excellent content. A, avoid overload. M, maximize learning channels. Is that clear? All right. Okay, let's move on. I will ask you 1 or 2 questions. I want to also interact at this stage. If you are asked, what are the critical qualities of a good presentation? Basically, you must understand that it is much more than one answer, because they've told you critical qualities. So give them a minimum of 3 and maybe a maximum of 5. Now let us look at some of these things I've listed here. The critical qualities of a good performance. You must capture the attention of your audience is 1. You have not performed well your presentation if your audience are sleeping. And that is why using Cruz's 2016 CEAM psychological principle helps you to be able to capture the audience, because you have addressed all their learning channels using visual, using audio, and kinesthetic approach to learning. Number 2 critical quality of a good performance is that it must sustain the interest of your audience. Number 3 is the fact that you must demonstrate a mastery of your subject. And number 4, you must display an ownership and originality of the content. You will find that, look, most of the acronyms I'm giving you here are originally mine. I read through the same manual you read, but to simplify knowledge and make it memorable, I now form them into acronyms. That makes it original. That makes it, and look, you feel excited and it helps you better. You won't forget. So you must communicate ownership and originality. Now discuss with and share with me. What are other critical qualities of a good performance that you know? Are there any that you can come up with? Jubri, Maria?
Okay, I think a good performance. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I think one I can actually think of now is a good performance should cover the objective of the objective, the reason why the whatever the
purpose,
the
purpose.
thing,
Yes.
yeah, the purpose, yeah.
Yes. I love that. Very well. Very good. Then what other thing? Looking at area of audience. What should a good performance about the audience?
You should okay, another one is when you look at area of the audience, a good performance should actually like capture the audience, like demography. Like if you're speaking to learned people, you should channel whatever you're saying to, to learned people's understanding. If whatever you're presenting has to do with market women, you should know how you would fine-tune your grammar, and all that.
So language level, the communication language level must be appropriate for the audience. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Okay, Jubri, do you have anything to say? Okay, maybe not for now. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let me give you some tips that you can use to overcome stage fright. Stage fright is common. Even the best presenter will have a modicum of stage fright when they want to begin. But there are several things you can use to overcome stage fright. Let me say that stage fright can occur in 3 phases. And in these 3 phases, you can employ different strategies to mitigate, to stop such stage fright. So there is stage fright before the presentation. There is stage fright during the presentation. And there is stage fright when you are closing, when people are asking questions. They can throw you off course. So let us look at before the presentation and during the presentation, which is in the main body and in the closing. Let us look at before the presentation. What can you do to present stage fright? Prepare well, research well, master your content, structure the various aspects to allow an easy flow, because it might happen that you just get there and the laptop is not working. So if you have mastered it, you have prepared well, you will remember most of the things you prepared well. Likewise, I want to say that dress appropriately to create a psychological boost. Dressing sometimes. Some people, when they wear a particular kind of shoe, that makes them to bounce, it creates psychological boost. Some people, when they wear a particular kind of dress, t-shirt or jeans, some people, when they wear a particular kind of cologne, perfume, it gives them psychological boost and helps them to perform extraordinary. So whatever helps you to overcome stage fright before, do when it comes to dressing. But I just say don't overdress and don't underdress. Likewise, when you arrive early to the venue, it helps you to have calmed down, to acclimatize the environment, even meet 1 or 2 of the audience. And so this pre-talking, what's your name, what you do, will have calmed you down. Then you will have been able to build some loyal supporters from the audience, so that when you enter into those difficult moments in the body of your presentation, you can look at them and they can give you thumbs up, oh, go, and nod their head, and you can receive psychological boost from them. So arriving early helps you. Dressing appropriately helps you. And also structuring the presentation to flow well helps you, and preparing well. But the secret to all of this is all about practice. I said practice, I said practice, I said practice again. So practice is a secret key. As you practice, you overcome even those fright. As you practice, you master your content. As you practice, you are able to understand the right language, the right introduction, the right closing, the right illustration, the right example. Okay, as you practice, don't forget you receive feedback. So from that feedback, people are telling you, this is not good enough, this is good enough, and all that. So you get better. And so mastery of your content reduces fright. I repeat, mastery of your content reduces stage fright. This is very important. Okay. So that is what you can do to overcome stage fright before presentation. And you know, when you come early, you have fixed all your gadgets and all that, and you have been able to also test them that they are working. It also helps you to be confident, even compared to if you arrive just almost late and you are forgetting, putting your computer, already you have subjected yourself to unnecessary fright. So please come early, arrive early. For instance, you know, I ensured that I've tested these slides, I've pulled them up, I've connected with the Zoom, even ahead of you in this class, ahead of my students, because I wanted, to ensure that all things were working. And it shows also that you are serious, and you are taking also your audience very serious. It doesn't speak well of you as a presenter to arrive 10 minutes after your audience are ready. Already that, first impression, don't forget the first 30 seconds of presentation is so critical. You are being assessed. And so, sometimes your body language, sometimes the first things you say and all that. And most times, how early you come will have helped you even to win a plus with majority of the audience, because also you have interacted with them before the class starts. All right, let's look at during. Overcoming stage fright during the presentation. I've said it can be in the body, in the major body of the presentation. Don't forget the presentation has three phases: the introduction, the body, and the closing. Or it can be in the closing. So let us look at this. How you manage your body language is what matters during the presentation. I will say how you smile, how you use your hand gesture, your stage management. Don't run all over the stage like an headless chicken. You must have an imaginary stage, a square box on the stage where you imagine you must not go out. It's like an imaginary rug. Okay, imaginary square that I shouldn't go beyond this place. Unless you have intentionally set your class in a U shape where you can walk in between the U, walk to and fro in between that U, so that you can touch base with your audience. And don't forget, it depends on the kind of presentation also. So I'm saying your body language is very important. Your hand gestures are important. So if you are afraid or you have stage fright during, take a deep breath. Don't let that deep breath be noticeable to the audience. So, no, that's not it. I mean, just something to, don't forget, fright is emotional and it's controlled by release of some body chemicals. When your adrenaline pumps so much into your bloodstream, your heartbeat begins to race. So what you are doing is you want to reverse even that pumped adrenaline by slowing down the heartbeat so that even the pumping of the blood also will go back to the normal. So take a deep breath. The second thing is control your pace. Don't be too fast. Don't be too slow. Talk at the pace that is appropriate for your audience. Master where you put the pause, the silence for effect. Master where you put your stress. When you are too fast, in most cases, it is noticeable that you are nervous or you have stage fright. And also when you are too slow, you may soon be stuttering. So, I mean, control your pace. Also, you can, from those you have met before you started the class, I told you to open your camera so I can put face to the name. It's a kind of psychological boost for me that, okay, I have a friendly face. We all smile and all that. That helped me to also ease out of stage fright. All right. So those you've met like that, okay, can give you positive looks, confident look when you are in a tight corner during the presentation. By their nodding, their positive body language, their smile. Don't forget, smiling is contagious. So when you look at them, you receive energy. Then I want to say, be sincere. There are some questions that are very difficult. Tell them, please, why not let us come back to that question later, by which time you will have been, you have settled down to think and process the question, or even throw the question to the audience to say, oh, please, can someone help me with that? Else, such questions can throw you off balance. So be sincere. So these are some of the things I think you can do during presentation. Now, you can open your mic and share with me. You might have had stage fright maybe before or during presentation before. How did you overcome it? What things did you practically do in overcoming stage fright? Yes, practical. I've given you an example of what I did before we started this class. You're opening your videos and all that and speaking to me is a way of dissipating any fright. So tell me about yours. Maria, Jibril, tell me. Yes.
I didn't really do anything practical. I just talked to myself,
Oh, self-talk. Good.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Self-talk. Yes. Self-talk can boost you. You can do this, Maria. Yes, you're prepared for this. You have your onions. Give it to them. All right. Good. Good. You know that.
I was like that. That they all have one heads like me.
Yes. So
what's the ones that can have for that kind of thing?
I love that. I love that. I love that, Maria. Okay, Jibril, what things helped you to overcome stage fright?
Yeah, most of the times is when I know the subject I'm going to talk about. That is mastering the content of the subject of discussion. Of course, it gives you that morale.
Okay, good. I love that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sometimes for me, wearing a particular sneakers, it has this bouncy, inner soul. When I wear it, it seems like as if I'm flying in the air. It makes me to be on top of the world. So in a difficult audience, I like wearing it. It makes me like I'm floating. It's amazing. So whatever makes you to feel confident, please do it. All right. Some people know that even prayer can help. You prayed it and so you are confident that you have put it in the hands of God. Whatever, it can help you. Okay. All right. Amazing. I love this. Let's go. I've made mention of this aspect of your voice. I said the voice is the most important instrument a presenter uses. And I made mention of some aspects. I made mention of pace or the rate of your speaking. I made mention of your silence or pause or emphasis and padding. Please, you must be careful about padding. It can put people off. What do we mean by padding? These are fill-ins. When a person talks and says, I mean, you mean, those are paddings. Repetitive words that add no meaning to what you are presenting is called padding or feelings. So you must master how you minimize, overcome padding. Is by consciously also listening to what you're saying and what next you want to say. So your emphasis is your stress. Your pause is the silence to create emphasis and drive home the point. Your articulation is part of also your voice. How you articulate. Is the mouth connected with your brain, or your brain is too fast for your mouth? Your pronunciation is your enunciation. How you enunciate, how you pronounce. Are you still speaking English with my Ijebu, Ijesha, Ibadan accent? You know, and and you are speaking to maybe an audience of in Britain or in US. If you are speaking before my Ibadan audience or my Lagos audience, you can speak in the kind of English that that they use. That may not be an issue. Okay, but so you must enunciate and pronounce well. Then projection is for audibility. Are they hearing you well? Are they sleeping on you because they're not hearing you well? So these are some of the things you must take care. That are properties of voice: pace or rate, pause, emphasis, padding. Silence is there also. Then articulation adequacy. You must articulate well. You must articulate, speak well. Then pronounce well. Then project well. This is very important. All right, let's do some review. And I want you to also ask me a question now. Before I ask these my own questions, if there is still time, well, please ask me your own questions. I have just about 7 more minutes. Go, yes. Go ahead, please. You've reviewed, you've studied. Which areas do you have questions about? Jubri? Will you go first, or Maria?
Yeah, thank you.
You're
thank
welcome.
you, sir.
You're welcome.
Really, workload for me in person, workload. These 5
Hello, Jubri.
subjects. I'm still trying to cover the last course before the week runs out. And okay, you can't hear me.
Your voice is just breaking. I can hear you sometimes. I cannot hear you sometimes.
Oh, it should be network.
Okay, network. Okay.
Really no question because I'm still going through the
Okay. Okay, you're still going to your course material. But how has this helped you? How has this?
Very well, very far, very
Wow.
far, very far. Yeah,
Wow.
very far, of course.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, great. So Maria, maybe you want to share with us your own experience. How has this revision helped you?
I must say that, yes. Very
No,
well,
the
of course.
revision was very okay.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
It has simplified some things also for you.
Yes. It has.
Yes.
Okay, good. So please, what I want you to do, just like I use what we call the science of memory, called mnemonics, to form acronyms that helps to simplify what each topic covers. Please also, as you read through, begin to develop simple acronyms to help you like that. It helps to remember. For instance, if I ask you the 4 P's, you can, and you structure it from the foundation to the top. You first of all plan, then prepare, then perform, then practice and perform. Then if I ask you what is planning about, it is simple. Just know it's PAV, P-A-V. Okay.
Yeah.
If I ask what is the planning, what is the preparation stage about, you can say, it is R&D.
R&D. Yeah.
Good. What is the practice stage all about? It's one central thing to receive feedback, and these are all the areas of feedback.
Yeah.
Then we have discussed even areas of what makes a good performance itself, and you've said that. Okay. So it will help you. Okay. I wish you the best. Okay. Let me look at 1 or 2 questions here, and we'll wrap up the day. Let us look at question 2. What are the key factors required for effective presentation? Let's discuss it.
Okay.
What are the key factors required for effective presentation?
I think from the revision now.
Yes.
You talked about pace and or rate.
Good.
One piece.
Good.
You talked about articulation adequacy.
Good, good. And one more, mention one more at least.
Proper communication.
Oh, you got it. Good, good. Proper communication, articulation, the pace, the rate. Okay, pronunciation. Beautiful. Okay, you can
Yeah.
have other things like how you manage your stage, your body language.
Yeah.
You can have other things like the use of effective illustration, examples can help you drive home the point. The right visuals, the right video can help you. I've taught you also how to, to also use acronyms, okay, to simplify even people's recall of what you've taught them. At least I've practicalized that here. Okay, let's answer one more question on my side before any other thing. I said, let's look at question one. Why is it necessary to determine first the objective of the presentation that you want to make before you commence presentation? So why is objective determination very critical before you commence the presentation?
So for me, I believe that when you determine the objective is like your lesson plan. Without lesson plan, you will just go and mess yourself up. Your lecture will not have direction. You know, it will not have direction.
Good, good, good. I love this. And that is why the building block is from planning. And planning starts from purpose. Your purpose is from your purpose that you draw out. These are my objectives. Okay. So that is very important. Else, your presentation will be without direction. Your presentation will not address the audience. Don't forget, in the planning, you have your audience. If not, your presentation will not be able to meet the needs and offer them value, and deliver a solution that you desire. So this is very important. And don't forget, an effective presentation is measured against the objective because it is a measurement parameter. How do you measure whether you have performed well if there's no objective against which you will measure? So it's also a measurement parameter. I want to say thank you. It's 1 minute, 1 hour. I don't know if anyone have anything to say at this point in time. Any feedback? Feedback? Maria, Jubri, feedback?
Okay, feedback. Positive feedback. The revision was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And you are amazing students. I love the interaction. I love the energy. Even though we are not in the physical class, I love this. Oh, Jubri, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's okay. It's very impactful as well. It's very impactful.
Wow. Thank you very much. Okay, so I have told you, please, I am praying along with you, but if you still have questions, please drop it on our WhatsApp group. I will find time to attend to it as you revise, okay? Because I've told you our target as a class is 90% minimum for this course.
Amen.
Amen. You will get it too. You will get it because
for all the courses.
For all the courses.
All the courses, all of them. Amen.
Yes. Work on it. But how I do with my students is I don't leave them. I also pray along with you, but also I am looking out for your questions, for areas in which you still need me to help you, and I will help you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So I will send you some. Our class administrator will send you one of my past questions. I have answered them so that you can also look through the answers I give to them. All right.
Okay. Sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, though virtually.
You too. You too.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Bye
Thank
for
you
now.
so much.
Mr. Kintunde, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Amo. Thank you. In fact, I was also part of the class. And,
wow.
I tell you, it was amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone, for participating. So you can always send back your questions, any question, like he has said, to the WhatsApp group. He will surely answer them. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too, sir.
Bye.
Bye.